What up, what up, what up? This is Nito Bats, and we're back with book 2 out of 4 of DC's KO KnightFight. Picking up where we left off, Bruce has just learned that the demise of Jason, Damian, and Tim were delivered by his hand. Thinking back to a time where Bruce arrogantly thought that Gotham was only his and his alone, he had learned the harsh lesson that that was not true. A lesson that he realized Dick hasn't learned yet. With the mother box speaking to him, Bruce doesn't listen. Instead, he listens to the one thing that only he can confirm for sure: Dick's heartbeat. And with just a short listen, Bruce was able to confirm what he had known this entire time: that everything that this Dick Grayson had seen, he truly believed was real. But all in all, this was not the true Dick Grayson. With Bruce equipping himself with Mother Box technology, which would teleport him out of the tournament should he have been killed, he had in a way cheated, and in doing so angered the Heart of Apocalypse, the main orchestrator of the tournament. Bruce did teleport out of that world thanks to the Mother Box, but in return was dropped into a world of the Heart's creation. And it was also through this that Bruce was able to determine that Dick's heartbeat did not match his age. Given what he knows from experience of being Batman for a long period of time, and the wear and tear that it would do on the body, there was no way that the heart could still sound that strong. The world that Bruce was in was a complete lie. With the team of Robins in hot pursuit, Dick Grayson makes one last attempt for Bruce to trust him, but again to no avail. And with that, Dick has finally decided that there is no saving Bruce, and that now he knows what he needs to do. Surrounded by Dick and his Robins, he assures Bruce that there is no escape, to which Bruce tells him that that was the other giveaway, that he let his Robins fight for him, something the true Dick Grayson would never do, and that Dick knew that Bruce always fought beside his Robins, and that he trained him along with his brothers and sisters. And with a menacing smile, Bruce throws a final jab at Dick's reign as Batman, claiming that his Robins could kick Dick Grayson's Robins' asses. Visibly pissed with that comment, Dick says the final 2 words: "Robins fly." And the fight is on, with the entire militia of Robins launching a full assault on Bruce. Learning quickly that this is an entirely different Batman than they're used to, an entirely different level. And even in the midst of visibly schooling them in the art of combat, Bruce still finds time to scold Dick, questioning if he actually trained them, even going as far as to calling them soft, being just enough motivation given for Dick to demand the Robins to stand down so that he can face Bruce head on, one-on-one. And once again, we see the mentor and the successor face off. And once again, in awe of the skills of Dick Grayson, Bruce gives Dick his praise and his abilities, and that with the skills that he had learned as a kid, even back in Haley's Flying Circus, and with the enormous amount of potential that Dick showed as Robin, Bruce had no doubt in his mind that Dick would one day surpass him so much that he wouldn't even need to be Batman. But seeing him in this setting not only brought the realization that he became Batman, but Bruce even acknowledged that he became a better Batman. Once again, seemingly getting the upper hand on Bruce, Dick demands that he stands down, with Bruce conceding, admitting that he was right, admitting to the fact that he did kill the Robins, and that he couldn't deal with it, just like he couldn't deal with the death of his parents. Dick tells Bruce that it's okay, that he can help, and that once the effects of the Lazarus Pit wears off, he can truly see the world for what it is, that he will learn to love it, and extended his hand to Bruce. Bruce takes Dick's hand and thanks him for being something that he could never be. Too trusting, flooring Dick with a surprise strike. Standing over Dick, Bruce tells him that he still wants to see the best in people. That's why he always got along with Clark, but that he's not the real Dick Grayson, and that he could never be, because Dick actually trusts people. Picking up his weapon, Bruce now finally realizes what the Heart of Apocalypse wants him to do, which is to not hold back, And just as he is about to land the finishing blow to this false Batman, the unexpected happens. A sudden shockwave is sent through Bruce's body, and the world around him begins to change. And we now see Bruce in a noir-like setting, which seems to be bound to a straitjacket. Questioning where he is and what is happening, he is answered by the person that stands before him. And that person is none other Jason Todd, the second Robin, who would also go on to become the Red Hood. Fitted in a tactical style batsuit, Jason stands tall over Bruce. In disbelief, Bruce calls out Jason by his name, to which he responds, "Jason is dead. Call me Batman." In disbelief, Bruce tells himself that none of this is real. That's just another trick from the heart of Apocalypse. Jace asks what lies at this time. Being trapped in a dark multiverse? Having the powers of Superman? Which one is it this time? The heart played his hand and I'm not falling for it again, says Bruce. Oh, the Apocalypse tournament story again, says Jason to Bruce. Where reality was changing so you could fight your friends to the death? I thought you were dead, you know, says Jason. And then one day, you're just here, talking about alternate realities where my brothers are still alive. Not a day goes by where I don't think about our family, says Jason as he removes his mask, revealing a much more older, battle-scarred look. Bruce attempts to break free of his restraints while pleading with Jason to listen to him, but Jason refuses to listen, stating that they both know that he isn't the real Batman, and proceeds to call him Clayface. Bruce tells Jason that he doesn't care if he believes he's real or not, and that he has to let him go, only for Jason to respond that he is done with the charade, revealing that he found Clayface on the street and took him in. Bruce yells for the heart of Apocalypse, asking if this is what he wanted. Look at yourself, says Jason, yelling at the sky, weapon in hand and aimed at Bruce. Bruce then urges Jason to listen to reason and not kill him, for if he does so, then he would just be doing what the heart of Apocalypse wants. Still believing him to be Clayface, Jason yells for Bruce to shut up, for it is cruel to him to pose as Bruce, and they believe that he is stuck in that form, actually believing himself to be Batman. Out of options and out of patience, Bruce charges Jason and challenges him to a fight, thus beginning the battle of the two, of the dark father full of regrets and the damned son full of rage, turning into a full-on brawl. This fight gets bloody fast, with nothing held back between either one of them. The two go at it in a rage-filled exchange of fists, with absolutely nothing held back. This is an up-close and personal fight. All the while, Bruce is able to deduce what this world was made from. It was made from his fears. Fears of letting Gotham down and fear of letting Jason down. By not ridding Gotham of its threats permanently, he was in turn failing the city and proving Jason's struggle right. That his instincts were the right way, making him a better Batman because he was willing to do what Bruce never could. Managing to create distance from Jason, Bruce yells that he's sorry to him before making his escape, with Jason yelling there is no escape before Bruce makes his chilling discovery. There was absolutely nothing there. Not a person, not a sound. All that remained was a blood-red sky and sheer silence. Now you're getting it, Clayface, says Jason, still believing Bruce to be. Now you're remembering the truth. You thought you were escaping Arkham. But Gotham is Arkham now. Batman always thought I leaned into the violence or killing. That was his nightmare for me. No, I gave that up. The thing I learned from watching Bruce was how to be alone, and just like him, that was my destiny. To save Gotham alone. What happened? Asked Bruce, to which Jason gave one name, the only one that could be responsible for this, Joker. He launched the biggest joke of all, but we managed to evacuate the city. The dome keeps Joker's irradiated gas trapped, but I had to stay behind to keep it safe, isolated. The plus side is that not a single crime has happened in 20 years. 20 years? Asks Bruce. By yourself? There are days when someone risks it. They try to break in and get exposed to Joker's gas, and I have to deal with them. Overwhelmed, Bruce begins to tell himself that this is all wrong, that this is just a game. And with that, Jason raises his weapon, telling him that he needs to accept it, that he's not Batman. But before he attacks, something happens. Bruce begins to transform as his eyes turn yellow, saying that if the heart wants him to believe that he's Clayface, then I'll play. Fully transforming into Clayface, Bruce attacks Jason.